Good evening, YouTube. I have been tagged. Well, okay, so maybe that's not exactly true. I kind of talked myself into being tagged. Thanks, Maya. The tag, though, is a series of questions about death and dying. And because there are 13 of them, without further ado, I'm going to dive right in. Truthfully, I don't really care, because I'm going to be dead, and I don't think it's going to matter to me much. I want for the people who survive me to be as happy as possible, and if having a funeral is going to make them happy, then great. If having a celebration of life is going to make them happy, then that's what I want. It's all about them, because I'm dead, and who cares? I'm most worried about leaving behind my wife, because she is so attached to me, it's so obvious. I don't think that it would necessarily kill her, but it would hurt her really bad if I were to die tomorrow, say. And that pains me. That's my biggest fear about death, and my biggest worry is leaving her pained over it. I, again, wouldn't really care. It would be really cool if one of the four horsemen, say Christopher Hitchens, would show up and basically mock the whole life after death thing. I would derive a certain amount of pleasure knowing that Christopher Hitchens was going to show up at my funeral and mock life after death. But it could be any of the four horsemen. I wouldn't mind, hearing Richard Dawkins talk about it, or Daniel Dennett, or anybody, the Amazing Randy, Sam Harris. Those are my heroes, really, above and beyond. And I guess that's really what they're asking for. Who's your favorite person? Who would you feel most happy that they thought enough of you to come and speak at your funeral? I would most like to be remembered for my writings. Of course, since about the only place my writings are going to survive my death at this point is this YouTube channel, and that's evidence of just how little impact my writings have on the world. I got a lot of work to do ahead of me before I die if I want to be remembered for that. So, I don't really want anything to be cremated with me. I definitely want to be cremated, because I would think that being buried is simply a waste of space. I have no need for that space after I'm dead. Give it to the generations to come after me instead of making me take it up. So, cremate me, spread my ashes. But if you've just got to cremate me with something, I would choose an outdated RAM chip. And it would be symbolic. It would be symbolic in that it's outdated and basically useless and its time has passed. And it would be symbolic because it's memory, and the memory can still live on. I could still be remembered and live on in memory even though my time has passed. I like the symbology of that. So if you've got to bury me with something, bury me with an outdated RAM chip. Not really. There are a few things in my house that I'd rather not have to cope with people figuring out right now. But on the whole, I'm pretty damn public about everything. And after I'm dead, again, I just won't care. And if it bothers my wife that something's found, well, it's up to her to deal with it. She can take care of it. She knows everything that I have. I have no secrets from her. I think if I had a choice, my last words would be, "Goodbye, Missy. I love you." In the same way that I'm not interested in being buried, I'm not interested in having a tombstone or a monument. But if my survivors are just insist on building a monument to me, and I got to choose my epitaph, I would choose something like, he lived his life according to his conscience, and let no one tell him otherwise. I think I would prefer to be remembered fondly than to be missed. But I have a hard time seeing how you could not have both in the same. I have a difficult time with this question. I would definitely prefer to die suddenly. As much as it would suck for my family and friends, I don't like suffering, and I would rather not have to deal with suffering. And I've already tried to make my peace with the world and let people know who matter what I have to say. So I don't think that, just me dying tomorrow would, other than losing all of the possible future writings I might create, be of any loss to humanity. I think the one way I would really not want to die is some sort of massive, long-suffering accident where I am left unable to interact with the world, but yet still conscious and thinking. Think the guy in Metallica's video 1. I don't want to be him. No. Now, obviously, I don't believe in ghosts or any sort of life after death or continued existence after death. But if after death I found I could come back and was able to come back and somehow interact with the world, I would choose to do all three. I would try my best to help the world by haunting and hindering those who I saw were harming it.